All right, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about money today, but probably not in the way you're used to. I want you to forget everything you learned in school about bartering because the real story of money, it's so much more about who we are than what we buy. So let me just ask you this. What if I told you money wasn't invented to buy things? I know, that sounds completely crazy, right? We use it for that literally every single day. But what if that wasn't its original point at all? What if it was for something completely different? Okay, so here's the classic story, the one we all got in Economics 101. You know, the whole bartering is a pain idea. It's too hard to trade a chicken for a pot, so poof, money was invented. Makes sense, right? It's logical. But it's just not true. The actual evidence, when you look at what anthropologists have found, tells a totally different story. Money didn't start out as a tool for trade. It started as jewelry, as a way to show off, to say, hey, look at me, I'm important, or this is my tribe. So to really get this, we've got to go way, way back. We're going to look at what the very first money actually was, and maybe more importantly, what it was really for. So check this out. We're talking shell strings, animal teeth, colorful feathers, jade beads, even whale tooth necklaces. See a pattern here? None of this is practical. You can't eat it, you can't build a house with it. They're all beautiful, they're all rare, and you can wear them. The very first things we decided had value were ornaments. They were all about making a statement. And this really just hits the nail on the head. Think about it. Before an object could be used to buy something, it first had to mean something. It had to have social power. The whole economic part, the part we think of as money's main job, that came way, way later. It was basically an afterthought. But that leads to a huge question, right? How does a simple shell, something you find on the beach, become so valuable? You can't do anything with it. Well, the secret isn't in the shell itself. It's in us. It's in our heads. This is the magic ingredient. It's called collective trust, and it's the engine behind all money, from ancient shells to the cash in your wallet. It's kind of like an inside joke in a small tribe. Everybody just gets it. They see the chief with a cool necklace made of rare shells. They think, wow, that's amazing. They talk about it, and bam, suddenly those shells have value. No government had to pass a law, it just happened. And of course, scarcity was a huge deal. I mean, if these shells were lying all over the beach, who would care? But they weren't. They were hard to get. So if you had them, it was a genuine signal that you were skilled or powerful or just important. It was the original way to flex, to show your place in the pecking order. Okay, so if they weren't buying and selling with this stuff, what were they doing with it? This, for me, is where the story gets really, really good, because the very first transactions had nothing to do with economics. They were all about people. Just picture this, right? A chief gives a warrior a necklace made of tiger teeth for being brave. He's not buying the warrior's loyalty. He's giving him a medal. He's showing him honor. Or two families exchange these incredible shell strings at a wedding. That's not a business deal. That's a promise, a bond. These things were like the social glue, used for the biggest, most important moments in life. It was only after these things became super important symbols, totally trusted within the community, that they finally took on the job we know so well today, being used as currency. So here's the real sequence, the actual origin story. Step 1, it starts as a status symbol, just a pretty thing people wear. Step 2, collective trust. The whole group decides, yeah, that's special. Step 3, it's used for social stuff, rewards, weddings, rituals. And then, finally, step 4, the very last thing it becomes is a medium of exchange. And get this, it was usually used for trade between different tribes first. So trade didn't invent money. Money was already there, and trade was just the last job we gave. Now, you might be thinking, okay, cool story, but that was thousands of years ago. What does that have to do with me? Well, it has everything to do with us. This isn't just ancient history. It completely changes how we should see our money today. Because the core logic has never, ever changed. The tech is different, for sure. We've gone from shells to coins to paper to digital code on a screen. But the underlying principle, it's exactly the same. That dollar bill in your pocket, that number in your bank app, even a cryptocurrency, none of it has any real physical value. Its power comes from the exact same source as that ancient seashell. Our shared belief, our collective trust. That's it. Money is and has always been just a story we all agree to believe in. So I'll leave you with this thought. The next time you tap your card to buy a coffee, pause for just a second. Are you really just exchanging some digital bits for a drink? Or are you taking part in a ritual that's thousands of years old? a ritual of trust, of showing who you are and where you fit in. Because when you peel back all the layers, the story of money, well, it's really just the story of us.